Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is a latest addition to the video playlist called Mentoring in the Heavenlies. And in Mentoring in the Heavenlies, we interview saints, and Tolu Johnson, who is with me here, has got 17 questions for Ruth out of the Bible. And Tolu asks the questions of Ruth, and Ruth will speak through me. Um, the messages are Christ-centric, and Ruth's answers are led by the Holy Spirit, and the whole intervention is led by the Holy Spirit. So I hope you're blessed. If this interests you, you can go to the heading Mentoring in the Heavenlies next to the video heading, and watch other interviews done by different saints. So I've been doing this for years. Personally, I've been interviewing saints for years, and I've interviewed about 40 saints in books. And I hope that this encourages you and edifies you, and I encourage you to watch to the end. Ruth is here in my bedroom, and she says hello to Lou.
Hello, Ruth. How are you today?
I'm a woman full of humility and grace, and Matthew sensed that as soon as I was here, and he's only ever sensed the level of humility on a person before when he met Jesus' mother Mary. So there's a lot of humility attached to my demeanor.
Oh, that's beautiful to know. And why is that so, Ruth?
I've been through a lot, and I've learned a lot. And the more knowledge you have, the wiser you become. It produces either pride or humility. And I've been uh, allowed to see and understand a lot of things, and just makes you more humble.
Thank you, Ruth.
Like success success either makes you prideful or makes you humble. Some musicians release a song, and it actually performs really well, like Imagine did, and it actually humbles the musician to have so many people love their song. And so humility is just a wonderful asset.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm looking forward to speaking to you today. So my first question is, what was your upbringing like as a Moabite woman?
I lived a really structured life. In those days, women had their roles and men had their roles, and young daughters had their roles and responsibilities. And I was brought up as a young girl and a young woman to respect my father, to respect my older brothers, to respect men in general. Men were considered better than women and more powerful than women, and women's protectors. And I came up with that realization to no matter whether the man was married or single, no matter how the man was, to respect the fact that he was a man. And women had their own issues and their own problems and their understandings and the own things that they discussed. But men were always upheld with great respect. That's one aspect of being a Moabite woman.
Thank you, Ruth. And how did that help you later on in your life? How you were brought up?
Um, so having the ability to be humble and be have your place, know your place, to be a person who admires leadership, a person who respects leadership, certainly helped me uh, 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 throughout my life. I never took things for granted. I never uh, uh, was privileged with my position. I always accepted my lot in life, and I was always humble, and I um, I loved my ability in the future when I was accepted and married to be able to help other women and other men. And out of humble beginnings, it was easy to remain humble.
Oh, thank you, Ruth. I like when you said I accepted my lot in life. So we all need to get used to that, accepting whatever comes our way in life.
Some
What
some people
motivated
some people hear the stories of others, or hear good things happening to other people, and they sort of want and desire that. They selfishly think
Mm,
for big things of themselves, and they can't be happy with a normal life and can't be happy with their lot in life. And there's a real gift in being able to accept what life has dealt you, accepting your cards in the game of life, rather than expecting or wanting or feeling you deserve something great.
thank you, Ruth. What motivated you to stay with Naomi and accompany her to Bethlehem even after the death of your husband?
Naomi was really special to me. She was a great mother-in-law, and it was like a spiritual bond had been formed. You could say that I was yoked to Naomi, and I loved her, and she was a dear friend to me and a dear mother to me, and I only wanted to be where she was. I wasn't interested in my tribe. I wasn't interested in my family background. I was only interested in being wherever Naomi was. She was very special to me and had ingratiated herself in my life, and she was very dear to me. And
Mm,
I only wanted to be where she was. I always wanted to know what was going on with her life, and always wanted to be a spectator of her life.
thank you, Ruth. What made Naomi so special to you? What did she do specially that made you to be so close to her and never
So
wanting to go?
Matthew's asking, was Naomi her mother-in-law?
Yes.
Yeah, she was not only a mother to my husband, she became like my mother. And I wasn't particularly close to my mother. My mother was like a harder, sort of harsher sort of woman. My mother had had a hard life, but Naomi was soft and gracious and loving, and she accepted me as her own daughter. And you know, my mother, my natural mother, was brash and rough, and didn't show tears, and didn't give me hugs. And so Naomi was a touchy-feely sort of person. She'd lay her hand on your shoulder when she's saying something. Uh, when you went out or came home, she gave you a hug and a kiss. She was really genuine with her love, and she was very open with her conversations. She gave me sexual advice with her son. She gave me family sort of advice, um, and she wasn't one to not to let go, like a husband is to leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. And some mothers and fathers don't understand that, especially mother-in-laws don't understand that the children have to be separate, and they've got to keep their paws off the relationship. She was respectful and kind and gracious in the way she treated me, but she did make herself available for me if I wanted advice. And so she became more than a mother to me. She became a dear friend, and I didn't want to let go of that friendship.
Oh, thank you, Naomi. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Ruth. Naomi urged both you and Hopper to go back. What was going through your mind when Naomi encouraged you to return to your people and gods?
That was her suggestion. It just didn't make sense to me. Her Naomi's gods had become my gods. Her faith had become my faith. Her love had become my love, and so it would have been a physical rip. Would have been like a spiritual rip, ripping cloth or something, ripping my heart. Uh, Departing from Naomi would have been like a spiritual rip in my life. And so Naomi was just saying the good thing, the most suggested thing. I didn't have a husband to go to. It would have taken faith for me to be a non-Jew, to go to a Jewish city and expect a Jewish man to marry me. But there was no question I wanted to be with Naomi, and she'd become such a dear mother-in-law to me that I wanted to be with her, regardless of whether I had a future man in my life.
Oh, that's powerful. What led you to adopt Naomi's God as your own? What did you see in Naomi that made you want to cling to Naomi's God and leave your own God?
Naomi was such a loving and gracious person. She had time and love for everyone. She was just a beautiful, still is a beautiful soul. She was just like Matthew's mother explained by his father in the last interview. She was just like a mother to everyone. She just had like a refreshing uh, uh, spring of living water coming out of her. And if her God was responsible for that, if her God allowed her to have that character, I wanted part of that God. Part of following Naomi was accepting the Jewish God, and I wanted the Jewish God because it done such a good job in Naomi's life.
Thank you, Ru. At that time, did you had any personal relationship with Naomi's God, or you just following Naomi based on what you've learned from Naomi?
I didn't have a relationship with Naomi's God when I decided to follow him. I just had faith, had an understanding that he'd communicate to me and let his presence be known to me. It was just purely a faith thing. It was a walk of faith. It was a step of faith.
Thank you, Ruth. Can you share your experience of working in the field to gather grain? How did this work contribute to your survival?
It was a Jewish custom, part of their law, to allow foreigners to pick fruit and pick grain from the outskirts of the field. I think Matthew remembers from memory, like 1/7 of their crop was left to foreigners and poor people to pick, and so it was. It was a real spiritual thing. It was an introduction to the ways of the Jews that were really expedient to foreigners and helpful for foreigners to be provided for in this way. And it was helpful and a blessing to me, and it helped me align and accept the Jewish God better and accept the Jewish people and their customs better. I had a lot of respect for that system and that provision that became part of my life.
Thank you, Naomi. What were your thoughts and feelings when you
Thank
first...
you, Ruth.
Oh, sorry. Why did I keep calling you Naomi? Thank you, Ruth. Maybe because we're talking a lot about Naomi. Thank you, Ruth. What were your thoughts and feelings when you first encountered Boaz in the field?
I just saw him as a strong leader and a strong businessman. Like I said earlier, I grew up with huge respect for men, and I respect manhood, and I respected my brothers and sisters. I respected husbands. I respected men in authority. So he was just a man in authority, and he was handsome, but I didn't see myself luring him or projecting myself onto him. He was just a strong man that was in leadership, and I respected him.
Thank you, Ruth. How did you gather the courage to approach Boaz and request him to redeem the family and marry you?
Did Matthew remembers? Didn't she sleep at his legs or whatever?
Yeah.
So
She did.
when he woke up, he thought something had changed, and I developed the ability to ask him to provide for me. It was a humble thing. It was a big thing for me to ask. Matthew wasn't aware that I was the one who instituted the thing and asked that. But it was humbling. But I was a woman. I've always been a humble woman, and I was asking him to do something that was pleasurable for him to do, and he willingly took me on.
Thank you, Ruth. And when Boaz responded positively to your request of redemption, what aspect of his kindness and generosity stood out to you?
He just had a big heart, like Naomi. He was gracious, and he was humble, and he was just full of love and acceptance. He had strong leadership skills. He was a good businessman. He was good at what he did. So a thing that stood out with him was his gracious heart. That he was not only good to me, but he was good to all the staff and all the people that were gleaning from his produce.
Thank you, Ruth. And what kind of husband was he to you?
He was loving and considerate and wise and thoughtful and gracious, and he was a strong leader, like I've said, and he led his affairs really wisely. He actually brought me in to do the books and have authority in what he was doing. He gave me authority over the workers, and he was a good delegator, and he made our marriage a partnership in business, and that really pleased me because I had those abilities in me, and he was able to see people's abilities and promote people and use people really well. And because he was so gracious, people loved to deal with him, and so he made me really proud and made me feel contented. He expanded me. He made me someone greater than I was. He saw my potential and helped me realize my potential as a wife, as a provider, and as a woman.
Thank you, Ruth. How did it feel to become part of the lineage that will lead to King David?
So that was wonderful. I found that out after I died. I didn't realize that I was part of King David's lineage, and King David has got a reputation, and it's just a testimony to God that he had a non-Jew in the lineage of David. So I think that's a statement to all non-Jews that become Jews, that it's possible and you're accepted as a fully fledged Jew because King David was come from my lineage. So it makes me very happy, makes me very proud. And it's just a testament to God that God would choose me, a prostitute, a woman who slept with her father-in-law, as 3 out of the 4 women in Jesus' lineage. So God's just an amazing, forgiving, long-suffering God.
Thank you, Ruth. How did your relationship with Naomi evolve over time, even after your marriage to Boaz?
Naomi was always close to me up until her death. I always treated her as a mother-in-law. Even with Boaz, I had another mother-in-law, but I always treated Naomi with love and respect and graciously. And Boaz showed her affection too and lavished things upon her family and was a blessing to her. And Boaz understood how much I loved her and respected her and treated her respectively according to my love for her. So Naomi was always precious, and um, when I was married to Boaz, I really congratulated myself in staying with Naomi, which led to that.
Yeah, that was a risk, but it was worth it in the end. And how is your relationship with Naomi now in heaven?
So Naomi and me are really close. There was never a time where we weren't close. Ever since I met her son and married her son, Naomi made a point of being close to me. It came from Naomi's side. The love, the relationship came from Naomi's side. She was very adept at loving people and making them feel welcome, just like Matthew's mother is. People feel really special about around Matthew's mother, and it's just a gift that some people have. Really gracious, and Naomi was really gracious to me, and continues to be really close to me in heaven.
Thank you, Ruth. Did you ever imagine that your story will be written in the Bible?
No, I got no idea. I had no idea that my story would be recorded for other people to read. I, I, I'm very happy that certain women quote my story and say that they're looking for their Boaz, and I'm very happy that numerous women have found my story encouraging, and that's like nearly all stories in the Bible, that they can be used to be encouraging and inspiring. And I'm glad my life was used to encourage certain women and certain men throughout history.
Thank you, Ruth. And what lesson did you learn from the challenges and victories you faced? And how did your journey shape your character and faith?
So I had certain difficulties and challenges in my life, and they fashioned a great character in me. I learned and got quite used to being humble. I also learned to be forthright and assertive and sometimes bossy. And I got things done. I was a good boss. I was a good leader. I complimented Boaz really well. We're complementary together. We led well. We conquered well. We grew well. He grew to other farmsteads, and we took over more land, and we're very successful. And all of these things work together to develop a good character in me.
Thank you, Ruth. How do you feel to be seen by God, even though all you were doing with Naomi, insisting you're going to follow her, you never knew that it was all going to turn out good in the end? So how did you feel that God was able to pick you out and put you in the position you were?
It's very good that I committed to the Jewish God, and it seems that the Jewish God really committed to me. And I guess that's what you're saying in this question, that that God saw me and he could see me, and he made provision for me to have a wonderful life. It made me feel really good. I'm still thankful today. And if you haven't, if you've never thanked God for the things in your life, fill out this short survey in your iPad of things you're thankful for, and you'll get a response off heaven for some things when you fill it out, for some things that you could be thankful for if you went after them. So a prophet will not only look at what you're thankful for, but will give you suggestions on some things that you could be thankful for in the future. So I was a thankful woman. I lived with thanks, and I grew a good relationship with God, who provided for me.
Thank you, Ruth. How do you encourage people to always be willing to take their lot in life?
So it's a hard thing because it's not a typical message that the world projects. The world talks about how you should be a success and how you should go for success, and certain people haven't got the skill sets, and certain people haven't got the motivation or the past or the abilities to go after things to make them a success. And certain people fail, certain people don't have what it takes, and those people can be sad and feel disappointed and feel that they've had things rough, and life hasn't been fair on them. And this is where you need to understand that God is a loving God, and he's a God of promises. And sometimes people need to read the Bible and read promises like all things work together for good for those who love God and called according to his purpose. Matthew knows a lot of promises. All things work together for good. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When you know the promises of the Bible, your life can become a whole lot richer. And Matthew can't read the Bible for you. I can't read the Bible for you and get the verses in your memory bank. But when you understand the Word of God, you come to understand that God is a fair God and gives everybody opportunity. And there's a way to live your life if you don't have opportunity. There's a way to live your life and cope if you were never chosen and you were never given an opportunity to be great. Matthew could be really encouraged if he did a video and 20 million people watched it, if his channel was blowing up and he had 100,000 subscribers, he'd be happier. But God has chosen fit for Matthew to be a nobody and not seen by the people of earth as much as he's seen by the people of heaven. And even if he wasn't being seen by the people of heaven, there's enough promises in the Bible to encourage him, keep him motivated. You've just got to get enough scripture, enough understanding into yourself of the character of God to be able to cope no matter what happens to you.
Thank you, Ruth. And what do you currently do now in heaven?
I'm a cleaner. I actually, Matthew didn't know there were cleaners in heaven. He didn't think there were, but I put away and organize things from banquets that are done. I don't necessarily clean things, but I put everything in the right places. There's certain shelves for certain things and certain things for certain things, and I just organize things for everything to be in the right place. I also teach. I also counsel. I do life coaching, but I do a lot of putting things out. It's less cleaning and more putting things out and putting things in order that I do. And you'd understand that when caterers want to come and prepare a room of tables with candle holders and cups and knives and forks, I make everything in the right place for them to be able to assemble the room really quickly. I put everything in order. So it's saying that I'm a cleaner gives you an idea, but I bring order to function rooms.
Thank you, Ruth. And for people listening in heaven, what do you want them to take away from your story today?
Just understand that you can go to a great position from humble beginnings, from pretty modest beginnings. You just got to have the right mindset and the right understanding. Every one of you in heaven can do great things and be used to do great things, and you can be blessed by God and ministered by God. And I hope my story and my sharing today encouraged you and blessed you, and God's got good things in store for everyone in heaven. And there's two things: you got to believe it, and you got to understand the promises in the Bible that exist and speak that truth. If you know those things, you can get a book of promises and read promises and stand on more promises, and you'll do well.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth.
Is that it?
One more. How do you want to be remembered, Ruth?
So I just want to be remembered as a wonderful wife, a wife who had great love for her mother-in-law, and her love for her mother-in-law brought success in her life.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth, and thanks for your time.
So if you liked this interview, please like this video. If you've got a comment, please comment. And if you're not a member of my channel, I encourage you to subscribe.